what part of what I know is going to take me to where I want to go. And then extracting that from yourself and creating at least a preliminary manuscript.
So what happens, there's a funny thing that happens in the brain. And so as entrepreneurs, we go through that startup and we get successful and we experience and taste success and we love it and we want more of it, right? And so we have these solutions to people's problems. And that's what an entrepreneur does. We give solutions, we fix things, we make things better, and we get paid for it.
I feel very proud of myself. And I just want to let everybody know this because this was not a challenging thing to do. I was able to achieve #1 best-selling author status. Like I was able to achieve that. It doesn't have to be challenging. And I just want to put that out there because I think that those designations feel really good. Like I'm feeling it. I'm vibing for you, right? I'm like, yes, this is what we want.
Right.
But for a lot of people, it feels unattainable. A lot of people, that feels like this meeting your favorite celebrity. You have to jump through so many hoops and you have to do this and that. And it doesn't, I just want to reassure people that it doesn't have to be hard. It does require guidance and some strategic insight into how you're going to properly leverage what you've created. And that comes down to marketing. Many entrepreneurs know that writing a book is a really great way to boost your authority. It's a great way to stand tall in what you know, who you are, and to connect really deeply with your audience and prospective clients. But where do you start? You want to write it, you've got the knowledge in here, but there are so many steps along the way that you're tripping over yourself, feeling overwhelmed, and then, of course, getting stuck knee deep in analysis paralysis. Nothing happens from there. But that's why we have Kay here today. She's going to tell us a little bit about herself, why this topic matters to her, and why it should matter to you. Kay, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Shauna. Thank you for having me here. Yes, so where do we start? That is the big question. And for entrepreneurs who are thinking about writing a book, I want to encourage you with a story, my own personal story, that will tell you how valuable, how important, and the huge contribution that doing a book makes to your business. So I had a full-out digital marketing agency for many years. And I wrote 2 business books, 2 marketing books. The first one was The Power Principles of Marketing. The second one, The CEO's Little Black Book on Branding. Both of those books got me on the national speaking stage. And so I was presenting on branding and marketing to CEOs, to decision makers. And I could count on the fact that in about 3 to 4 weeks, I would get a call from a VP of marketing and sales, who would say to me, my CEO saw you and said, call her, engage with her. She's good. I want her to bring her marketing strategy to us. And so as a result of that, our agency made millions from those speaking engagements, which were driven by the fact that I had these books. Now, putting these books together, writing them, publishing them, and I was an indie publisher before indie was cool. And I literally had a list of CEOs that I had targeted. If you've ever heard of the top 100, your Power 100, right? I had a list of those and I sent them the books. I sent them, when the first one published and when the second one published. And so I was very target marketed in my approach, and that approach paid off. That approach actually still works today in terms of targeting your market. So we're going to talk hopefully a little bit about targeting your market, because if you don't know who your market is, if you don't know who your buyer is, then you're going to waste a lot of time. You're going to waste a lot of money trying to find people, and it's all going to be hazy. But before we move forward, Shauna, I just want to impress on everybody, writing a book is the ticket to credibility, to authority, to expanding your presence, to really ramping up your reputation. And even in today's market of what they call the AI slop, right? Even in today's market, a book well crafted, well produced, and we actually produce books for entrepreneurs. And I say produce because the way books are handled today that reach their audience in the most effective manner is not just to write a book, but to produce a book that has graphs and charts and assessments and graphics and is visually interesting. Think about our world today, right? What's the most important thing? Visuals. Visuals tell the story. And so we have found a way to create and produce books quickly, effectively, and powerfully that grab an audience because it's targeted. It also honors the author very much because when you have a creative spark and a creative spirit and you want to share your work, and it doesn't matter what industry or category you're in, becoming an author and an expert in that category elevates you. It also really honors your passion in that area. So I have a quote that I've had on my website for years, and it says, when you have a passion for the product that you have, you just, selling is like sharing the love. So that quote blew me away, not because I created it, but because it got picked up by a book, an international best-selling book, which is titled the 100 Top Sales Quotes of All Time.
Ooh,
And
that's
my quote about passion for your product being like love, right,
yeah.
is in there with um, like Aristotle and and Zig Ziglar
Probably
and
like Seth
Tony
Godin and
Robbins.
stuff. Yeah. That's
Yeah,
so
all the big
cool.
names. But that
Oh,
passion really, for whatever it is that you're doing, and in terms of entrepreneurs and nonfiction books, you're providing a solution to a problem.
right. Right.
Yeah.
And and this is something I think actually that's a really great place to kind of leap off because we already I feel like if we're here together having this conversation, all the people who are joining us today, um, they've got an inkling of the fact that they have that spark and that they
Mhm.
want to share it. And that authorship is an opportunity, but they're standing on the edge, right? Well,
Right.
I don't know what to do next. I'm not sure um, where to go from here. And I think that what you just said is a really great starting point to kind of explore that conversation.
Right. Right. So understanding the power that a book has then gives you kind of a framework. And that framework is, how do I leverage that power? How do I understand and begin to move forward, knowing that the end goal is I'm going to have this great book that's going to get me in doors that I could never get in without it. I
So
mean,
then
there's a
you're able to
huge difference.
yeah, well, because that changes the questions that you're asking yourself from
Mhm.
how do I do this thing to what part of what I know is going to take me to where I want to go. And then
Right.
extracting that from yourself and creating at least a preliminary manuscript.
Yes. Yes. So what happens, there's a funny thing that happens in the brain. And so as entrepreneurs, we go through that startup and we get successful and we experience and taste success and we love it and we want more of it, right? And so we have these solutions to people's problems, and that's what an entrepreneur does. We give solutions, we fix things, we make things better, and we get paid for it, which is exactly as it should be.
Yeah.
But what we forget along the way is that what we now know to be easy is still very difficult for others.
Yes.
And so your book becomes the easy button. But even with your book as the, pass into the door, the easy button, whatever you want to call it, It's kind of like this. If Tiger Woods or any of the golf greats came to your office and they had a meeting with you in the conference room, and when Tiger Woods left, his golf bag was in the corner, like his clubs are there, and you're like, oh my gosh, if I took his clubs, could I play at the same level as him? Of course not, right? So the clubs are a tool. What's most important for an entrepreneur is what you have here in your head and in your heart. And so that is what we take and you put into a book, and you put in the solution to the problem that you're solving. However, the book is a tool, and typically your prospects, your clients still need you to implement the solution for the problem.
Right.
But what it does is it elevates you from everybody else who's doing the same thing or similar things. There's something very powerful about, and now I'd like to introduce to you author Kay Wagner. And then we elevate that by, and now I'd like to introduce to you award-winning author Kay Wagner. And
That
we
sounds
elevate
nice.
it even more by saying, I'd like to introduce to you award-winning, best-selling author Kay Wagner, right?
Yes, I am here for the. I am so. I feel very proud of myself, and I just want to let everybody know this because this was not a challenging thing to do. I was able to achieve #1 best-selling author status. Right? Like I was
Yeah,
able to achieve that. It doesn't have to be challenging, and I just want to put that out there because, like, I think that those designations feel really good. Like I'm feeling it. I'm vibing for you, right? I'm like,
yeah.
yes, this is what we want.
Right, right,
But for a lot of people, it feels unattainable. A lot of people that feels like this goodness, like meeting your favorite celebrity. You have to jump through so many hoops, and you have to do this and that. And it
right,
doesn't. I just want to reassure people that it doesn't have to be hard. It does require guidance and some
right.
strategic insight into how you're going to properly leverage what you've created. And that
Yeah,
comes down to marketing.
right. But before we go to marketing, let's interject the hero's journey, right?
Yes. Oh my
Because
gosh.
that's still part of what gets you over that hump of, am I worthy of this? Can I actually do this? So the hero's journey, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
This is my favorite thing to do. I am just the kind of person who in my show, and even in some of the shows that I appear in, I just turn my back to the screen because I just do my thing. And for those who are just listening, that's what I just did. I completely neglected all of my beautiful people who have joined me for this conversation because I am human to get this book, Building a Story Brand by Donald Miller. It is going to
yes, yes,
outline the hero's journey in a beautifully concise way. And I need to remember to put the link to a amazing under 10-minute video that actually also clarifies the hero's journey
mhm,
of building a story brand. I have a link to that I share with all of my
right,
people if they're interested. So I've got to remember to put that in the show notes. I wanted to
yeah,
share that before we dove in
mhm,
to the hero's
okay,
journey
good.
as an entrepreneur and author, because if you haven't read this, read it.
Right, exactly, yes.
Power of
So the
books.
hero's the hero's journey, if you're not familiar with it, for your entrepreneurs, they've already answered the call, right? So in the hero's journey, the story opens and there's something that the hero is supposed to do.
Right.
He's supposed to rescue someone, or he's supposed to meet this challenge, or go to this distant land and save people, or bring a treasure back, whatever those huge goals, those huge challenges are. And he has given this challenge, and this is what I want your listeners to hear. If your listeners are entrepreneurs, they've already experienced that piece of, okay, here's the challenge. You've heard the call and you've answered the call, and now you're an entrepreneur and you have a business. So that is very similar to what happens when an entrepreneur decides to become an author. The entrepreneur hears the call to take on the challenge to become an author. And the question then becomes, will you answer the call?
Mm.
Will you say yes to the commitment? And then begin the journey of being an author. And so when you start to look at it that way, you look at the hero's journey. The hero never does it alone. The hero always has a guide, a mentor, a Sherpa, someone who is there at exactly that moment when they need encouragement, guidance, direction.
Think
And
Gandalf
so,
the Grey.
yes, exactly. And then there are a whole bunch of other little, cast of characters, hobbits, and all those people who help you as well. But you have a mentor and a guide who will get you through the really hard times, when you're hanging on the cliff and it looks like death is imminent, but you are thrown a lifeline, right?
Or
And so,
given a nugget that allows you to understand the situation better. They may not save you, right? Because keep in mind, this is a guide. They're not doing it for you. They may not save you, but if you're hanging off the edge of the cliff, they may just very well say, hey, listen, you're focusing too hard on the edge of the cliff and not realizing that the ladder's right next to you.
yeah. Here's what you can't see because you're not looking there.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. Yeah, so then, the hero's journey proceeds and the hero keeps moving forward and the mentor comes in at the needed times and then we get, to the climax and then the happily ever after. So that is like the publishing story. Now, here's what most people don't know. After you write the book, now the real work starts. And that we call marketing with a capital M, promotion with a capital P, and the rewards are great. However, this is where most people shut down. Most new authors shut down because they don't know. I don't know where to start. I don't know what to do first. I don't know what the product priorities are.
I want to ask our audience right now, how many of you, and please let us know, like share in the comments, let us know, how many of you have a box of books that you've written that are sitting in the corner of one of the rooms in your house that are supposed to be on the bookshelves of people all around the
Right.
world? Answer in the comments. Where's your box located in your house? Because I know you got it. Listen, I know you got it. Because that is your sign that you need to start marketing and promoting your book.
Exactly.
And that's what we're going to talk about.
That's exactly right. And so what we do in the Bold Authors Network, which is what the group that I put together, the program that I put together to address this gap in the marketplace. So there are thousands, I don't know, hundreds of thousands of people who will teach you how to write. And God bless them because we need writing guides, right?
Absolutely.
But what we do in the Bold Authors Network is we focus on promotion, on book promotion, so you sell more books, so you don't fall off of the Amazon cliff. One of the things that we teach people immediately, if you're publishing as an indie publisher on Amazon, you need to claim your free Amazon real estate. Amazon wants you to be successful, and they give you a ton of free real estate. And my guess is that most of you people don't know it exists.
If I'm being honest, I'm not sure that I know the way you said that. Like, I know about the real estate on Amazon, but the way you just said that made me think that I only know like one continent of an entire planet of real estate that is out there. So what does that look like? Let's just start with what does that look like?
Yeah. So I'll just give you a peek behind the curtain.
Yeah.
Right. So Amazon does not charge you. It's amazing what they could charge you for, but it's all free and you have to claim it. So there is a thing called A+ content. A+ content is on the sales page where people buy your book. And you can add graphics. If you have a series, you can add a series box that has each one one place beside the other, which again, just so your people know, even if whether you are writing fiction or nonfiction, Amazon loves a series. So if you are an entrepreneur writing a book about the problem and the solution that you solve in your category, you're probably thinking of writing a book that contains the solution. I would greatly urge you to think about doing a series, breaking down that solution into multiple steps and focusing very clearly. And then your reader will go from book 1 to book 2, book to book 3 to book 4. When you publish a series, Amazon's algorithm says, "Oh, we love series. We are going to help you out." And we are going to help you out by showing your book to all the people who have shown interest in that category with those keywords. Right.
Right.
So A plus content is on the sales page, and you are able to go into the back end in KDP and on your Amazon Author Central page. There are 3 sections to KDP. There are 3 sections. Most people only know about the publishing one. That's just the beginning. You're able to create graphics that will be shown. You're able to create additional bio information. You're able to create and publish additional information about your book. The ability to put this additional content, visual and written, will increase your rankings. It will increase the visibility of your book, and it will make you distinctive, and it will make you stand out from your competitors.
That makes a lot of sense. And I mean, even when you extrapolate that to just basic marketing outside of book marketing, when you're optimizing your profile on social media, when you're making
Yes.
sure that you have the correct links. A really great example is one of my clients. She asked me to optimize her LinkedIn page over and above the regular work that I was doing for her. And I said, yeah, absolutely. She had 3 main offers, things like work with me, of course, visit my Amazon page, makes sense. And then
Right.
also, here's my lead magnet. We made sure that all 3 of those links were individually placed at the top of her profile, easy to access. A lot of
Right.
people only have 1 link. She has
Right.
these 3, and people can be guided there depending on their need within her world. This is a really important part of what you do in all of your marketing. So why would you not do it for your book?
Right. Exactly.
That makes
So our recommendation is to create a book vault, what we call book vault. And that book vault becomes a document that includes and houses all of your keyword phrases, all of your categories, your genre, your bio, your book description, everything that you would ever need about your book. Like any links that you, like you were just talking about, any links that are related, any programs that are related to the book, that the book is the door to the program, right? And this helps people stay really much better organized. So when they come onto a podcast, they've got their book vault, they've got everything they need, to talk about. Put in your themes if you're doing nonfiction. If you're doing fiction, you're putting in your characters, your scenes, your themes, all of those things.
I have a question for you, Kay. I have a question. Because this is such crucial information for people who are going out to write their book. And I know that there is a lot of, and we kind of briefly touched on it in our past conversations. We were talking about AI, but my question for you actually is, do you think that a conversation around AI, authorship, authority, and publishing, etc., is kind of a whole conversation unto itself, something that maybe we should be doing a part 2 about?
Yes, we should, because I believe the very concept of what the term author means is dramatically changing.
Okay, perfect. So that's,
What
I
does
think,
it mean to be an author in the age of AI?
yes, because I'm a philosopher at heart, and I have deliberated over that a lot. And I think that we could have a really rich conversation about what that means, because I have
Right.
a lot of colleagues and froligs, friends and colleagues, who use AI religiously for creating and publishing their books. And that's fine. Like, I hold no judgment on that, but I have
Mhm.
some opinions for myself about those types of things. And I'd love to explore that with you. We don't have enough time to do it today. So I think what we should do is we should explore that in a part 2. So if you've all enjoyed this conversation and you're curious about what role does AI play in this story, in your story,
Mm-hmm.
that was a double entendre on purpose. I like that. She thinks. And you need to stick around for part 2 because it's going to be a doozy. I have opinions, and I can tell that Kay does too. So we're going to be diving in deep. But before we kind of move on to some closing remarks, I wanted to ask you, Kate, if there's anything based on what we've spoken about so far, not AI, but about the whole journey of creating your book and understanding that how to leverage the book you've created.
Right.
If you've got any really great tips for our audience, especially like one action item, that's what I'm going to say. One action item that will really drive us forward. I'm going to invite you to say, to tell the world this. Now, before I do that, because I know I just asked for one out of like a bajillion you could possibly give.
Right. Exactly.
Like that right now. And
Right.
remind everybody else again that these conversations happen every single week on Marketing Rebels Breaking Business Barriers. So please ring the bell, hit subscribe, leave a comment, a review. Tell me what else you want to hear about, because I'm not going anywhere. And I don't want you to go anywhere either. So join us. And I'm going to get off the stage. Please tell the people what they need to hear.
Yes. So I would say you are at a juncture in your career, in your business, in your life, where you know there's an opportunity that you can increase your reputation, your presence, your being in the world, let alone increasing the success of your business. So I would say answer the call and commit to producing, to writing the book, the series, right? If you've already written a book, now look at what is the next step that needs to happen after the book that you wrote. And don't put all of your juicy answers in one book. Create a series, because that will get you a tremendous amount of coverage, and Amazon will work on your behalf. For those of you who have already published a book and don't know what to do, start with Amazon's real estate. Go into Amazon, go into KDP, go into Author Amazon Central, and begin to explore the various levels and the depth of what you can add into the back door of Amazon. We do a course on that called Amazon Visibility Accelerator, how to claim your free Amazon real estate. But you can go in and, just for example, I'll give you an example, Shauna, right? You can go in and actually recommend your own books to Amazon. And when you have passed a certain threshold of recommending your own books and other people's books, it gives you extra points so that when Amazon sends out their weekly email to millions of people, you have a shot at being in that email.
That almost sounds like cheating, but I love it.
It's not cheating. It's called leverage. It's called leverage.
Oh, that's so wonderful. Oh man.
Yeah, and that's just one of the little pieces that's hidden in there. There is so much. So so people say, like, I don't have the time. I'm running a business. I don't have the time to like post every 2 hours, about my book. No, you don't, and you shouldn't, because that's not what's going to get you where you need to be.
Yeah.
There are like the top 5 things you need to do. And being on podcasts like Shauna's is one of the top 5.
I love that. And all of that information and then some, exponentially more,
Yes.
is in the Bold Authors Network.
Yes. So in the Bold Authors Network, we welcome all authors, nonfiction and fiction, and we are all focused on promoting books, selling more books. That is the sole reason that we exist. We hold a promo hour every Monday from 4 to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It is a free promo hour every Monday. The members come in, and when I say members, I mean anyone who participates. It's free, promo hour is. And then, like yesterday, so we had promo hour yesterday. I gave people information about 3 different award shows for books that they can apply to now. And becoming an award, winning author is the next elevation in your author journey, in your entrepreneurship. So we have lots of teaching, we have lots of connections, there's collaborations going on. It's a very supportive and very active group. So we would welcome any authors. If you're going to be an author, if you've answered that call and you're going to become an author, or if you're already an author, you have a work in progress, we invite you to join us because you will learn so much. In addition to promo hour, of course, we have courses, we have workshops, we have one-on-ones, we have laser coaching, and we have other services that we provide. But really the best way to get into the community is to start joining us in promo hour. And you can find promo hour when you go to boldauthorsnetwork.com. And I think, Shauna, you're going to put that in the show notes, right?
It's already there. And
Okay.
you can either scan the QR code right now on the screen, or you can go into the show notes, click on that, because guess what? You're going to find me there. Because I just had a full body yes to this whole world. So if you want to hang out with me, you want to hang out with Kay, that's where to go.
Yep. Come on over.
That's right. No, I love this. Okay, so what I'm going to just do here is I'm going to reiterate the fact that that's where you're going to find me, because even though I was able to create this lovely book, Mastery Unleashed, it was a co-authored book. I have a chapter in there and it's so fun. I learned so much. I have ideas. I've always got ideas. You guys have been with me for long enough. You know, my brain goes 100 miles an hour with no breaks sometimes. But I need to make certain things happen. And I feel like, tell me yourself, if you're feeling the same way as me through all of the molecules in your body, all the atoms in your body, that this is a yes, because it sounds like a no-brainer. If you can go to promo hour, be surrounded by other authors, get inspired, really be able to take action in your book, that's amazing. Then if you want to take the next step and actually join the community over and above promo hour, hello, seems like a good thing to me if you want to actually leverage authorship, your intellectual property, and more. With that, I'm going to just remind you all to have a fabulous rest of the day, to use your imagination, because and I'm saying this because I've been reflecting on a really great journey that I've taken, and I am a storyteller. And one thing that's constantly coming up is that the people who really succeed in achieving their goals and then some are the people who have the imagination to perceive what could be. So keep using your imagination, tap into that inner spark, answer the call, and reach out. Kay's here, I'm here, and I'm happy to be your cheerleader. I'm pretty sure Kay is too, based on everything we just said. Final note before I let you all go and enjoy the rest of your day. Remember, there's going to be a part 2, AI and books.
Yes.
Let's have that conversation. With that, I hope you have a great rest of your day. We will chat soon. See you later.